Comes from times when laws weren't as certain as they are now, and people, there were empty properties, people would go into them. And before...
Two housing trusts we've got, Kensington and Notting Hill. We were at Preston Road, 4 houses in a row, all owned by Kensington Housing Trust. They've sold all 4 houses. We've moved to Chesterton Road here, which is 2 houses owned by Notting Hill Housing Trust. They're being sold off again. And both of these are, as we've said, charitable organisations which are supposed to be for homeless and deprived families.
21 St Luke's Road was a, what was it called? There's something that had Church or Christian in the title of it, and it's like it comes over like it's a charity, and it's not. It's just a business, and that's the name of the business. And they were selling up as well. It's Paddington Church, as they're called. They evicted us. Well, they were around pretty quick. We did manage to stay there for about 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah. Luxury in comparison to the ones we've had recently.
Yeah.
Right. But like, with the properties in the West of London and central London, they are quite desirable properties. So there obviously is like going to be more pressure on for a quicker evictions. It's just stand the reason because it's like a money orientated business. But in the southeast and out further, there's just massive spaces that could house untold amounts of people that they don't do anything with. Like they're almost too big to squat unless there's a legion of them.
Yeah. Still, what is it? Who's this bloke that Hackney Council have called in? And they reckon that they're going to have all the squatters out of Hackney by 1993 or something.
Yeah.
It's not going to be any. Yeah. I forgot his name, but he is.
Is it Willis?
What was it?
Willis?
Willis.
Sorry, Willis?
Yeah.
Bruce Willis.
Huh?
Bruce Willis.
Die hard, yeah. We haven't even had 24 hours, have we?
Scaffolding's going on.
Yeah, the builders are out.
Hasn't even gone to court yet.
Maybe they're trying to do taxi with a scaffold, maybe they'll just hang you all.
Yeah, right.
In the morning. Whatever you
They are
want.
a bit grim, scaffold going up outside the...
Well, it is really, isn't it?
The thing for the court date, which is on Monday, 22nd of April. What's the date
Today's the
today?
19th.
Today's the 19th, and we've got to be out tomorrow, which is the 20th, so we're not even getting a chance to go to court and fight the case. So,
It's bad.
yeah, just getting booted out.
Should we take on this or what?
Slightly, we can't even say.
They can't wait till
They haven't got up the cinema.
Yeah, apparently it's legal.
Big ones as well, and empty like workshop spaces and stuff, and they've just moved one person in, or like a couple of people in, so that it is occupied, so it can't be squatted, but they're not really doing anything with them, they're still sitting empty. It's just like the bosses fucking
Well, that's the legal way around it, isn't it? That's the loophole.
That's it, yeah.
This is the legal requirement, it's just one occupier. You know, I mean, the laws were made, the laws, it's all part of Public Order Act, isn't it? So, I think.
No, what's that? They're
Oh no, it's having, if they got a caretaker on the premises and he objects to your presence, then the police can come and remove you immediately.
It's always in it.
So where's the judge?
this is Liverpool,
The
isn't it?
police's attitude completely changed when they saw the video cameras. Without the video cameras' presence, this matter would have been completely different.
Yeah.
The police's attitude towards us changed 80% for the good because they were aware of captured information on film. The attitude they have to squatters is we are scum and they don't like us.
We had a thing a couple of months back when we were living in vehicles. We got to Berkshire, and it was an old derelict sort of nursery gardening centre or something, and about 25 vehicles moved on. Everything seemed fine. The place had been empty for about 2 years or something. Next day, about 7 heavies come down with spades and
JCB.
a JCB.
A representative from the firm that owned it.
That's it. And
Saying that they intended to start building with it that day, and
yeah.
because we'd moved on, we couldn't.
And then they proceeded to dig trenches all around us, which is complete. They blocked the entrance so we couldn't get out. They,
So
you know, they wouldn't let us leave. There was it sounds a bit corny, but there was women and children. You know, there was
There
a,
always is, isn't
yeah,
there?
there was a girl who was
There's a
pregnant who
virus.
was expecting any day. You know, and we couldn't get out. You know,
So they
but-
came and said, right, you've got to go, and then
No,
they
it's-
let
no.
them going.
They
Yeah.
trenched us in,
Yeah.
and they said, we'll be back in the morning to public order you. And then the next morning they came down, and,
No, they didn't know that the owners didn't know there was such a thing as public order.
and the police don't like telling them because the police have
Yeah.
to pay to public order. The police have to actually public order, the owner doesn't.
Yeah.
But the owner can like ask for it, can't they? if
A
they
lot of,
want
I've heard a lot of police don't want that power.
it. They don't. Well, they don't because it costs them money. It costs them too much money.
Yeah.
So they keep quiet about it. But you know, they have to let it out in the end. But the next day they came down, and the guy that was representing the company said that we all had to move off, and if one person didn't want to move off, then the police were going to public order us to arrest us.
But the thing is, while they were trenching us in and blocking the entrance, the police were present, and we said to the police, look, this is completely illegal. You know damn well that this is completely illegal, and they just...
Yeah, it constitutes imprisonment, really, doesn't it? In a way.
Well,
You can't get your own.
It was just...
Then the security guard down, they put a porter cabin up, trenched him in as well.
So we get out and like, oh, they just couldn't work that out. That was it. The security guards were stuck in with
What,
us.
with a van and all?
Yeah. So like, we were just running about all night playing games, banging on the side of everything and all that stuff. Digging the trenches, they cut through a main power line and cut off all the electricity
And
to
they-
the main area.
and they cut through a
a water line.
Same
Start-
trench.
While the electricity people were trying to mend this
The
cable.
water was
the
rising.
water was-
They were there all night, flooding in the corner.
Emergency.
It's crazy.
But this is it, it's getting bad all over.
The council done a similar thing last up North Front. They moved on this bit of land and they come along and they trenched along the side of the roads. And it was on common land, they dug trenches along the side of the road. They left little gaps if we wanted to get out. And later on that day the borough engineers from the council were up in their Land Rover, and it was very soft, sort of marshy common land. And I stopped them in the Land Rover and I said, has it occurred to you by digging trenches along the side of these roads, that the roads, when it rains, the roads are going to sink, and the earth from under the roads is going to fill the trenches up? And they looked at each other, this is God, I'm sitting here, they looked at each other and they went, oh, yeah, it is, isn't it? I mean, I'm not an engineer, I don't know,
Yeah, right.
but it's obvious, you know.
And with Chief Constable so-and-so, who said, 1:30 this afternoon, you will be public ordered, under the Public Order Act.
And I spent the rest of the morning filling in one of their trenches so we could get out.
But it was, the funniest thing was that this company had hired in security, hired in all these henchmen, hired a JCB, done all this work and that, when all they had to do was phone the police and say, look, we've got hippies on the land.
Yeah.
Not hippies.
Well, right, travelers, yeah.
Could you please come and remove them? And the police would have come down and,
Done the job for them.
that's it.
Another shocked householder returns.
Jake,
Okay.
something? Yes, life is sweet.
That's fine.
Tea and biscuits.
Live in cardboard boxes.
Well, that's a novel idea.
There's no homeless crisis if the government are providing, I don't know, hostel space or whatever for people who sleep in rough. So they can, eventually there'll be an outlaw, people being able to squat houses. And the only option will be to move into some government-run hostel.
Well, you have to go on the streets, won't you? You have to live in cardboard boxes.
To be living on the street to get, well, you'll get put in them and it'll be like a prison in the dole office all in the same place with your bed.
The workhouse.
Yeah.
Good old English institution, mate.
That's what they do in Belgium. If you squat in Belgium, they put you in the workhouse until you earn enough money for them to consider that you can afford a flat. I mean, flats are cheap, so you don't really need to squat there, but if you do,
Yeah.
they put you in the workhouse and it's such shit wages. It takes you ages to save enough to be let out again.
Really? Chuck Berry, mate. Arrested for unemployment.
The top.
Arrested for being unemployed and put in a fucking state penitentiary for being unemployed.
I'm sure the stories will take the initiative.
So, I mean, we are hoping that this film will be a historic document by the time it comes on, because we now live in John Major's new caring society.
Britain, isn't it? Yeah.
And so by the time we get this film on in the autumn, perhaps we'll be living in a new reality where there won't have to be loads of squat and housing will be available to all, and there won't be any poor little waifs living in cardboard boxes.
All the poor
Don't
people
hold
we
your
do.
breath.
Well, I'm not going to know.
I heard the other day that there's an estimated 126,000 empty buildings in London alone.
Houses, that is.
Well,
Well, not
buildings.
buildings, no, houses.
Is that just houses?
Yeah, 160, I think it is.
You know,
Something like that,
but-
140,000 homeless people and 160,000 empty houses.
When you're with a group of people who are all in the same boat, you know,
Well, yeah.
you'll stick together even
Yeah.
if it's the most scummiest, horrible
Yeah.
place ever, you know.
This stuff they should take the initiative and do something like people who are on the street should get somewhere off the streets, a lot of them in one place. So they're off the street and they prove then that they can get off the street themselves and they don't actually need to be institutionalised by the
Yeah.
government. Otherwise it's just going to be grim. It's going to be even
Oh,
grimmer
you
for
see, they're
people
going
who
to make
don't.
that sort of thing illegal, so you get arrested for doing that. So the only thing really to do is stay at home with mum and dad.
Lots of residents. What? Lots of other residents nearby.
Oh yeah, but it's
High class.
with the basement windows open. When we're moving in, they can back out for.
Very spoiled.
The police advise us to move to Hackney. Not Hackney, sorry, Kilburn. The police strongly advise Kilburn as a squatting area this time. Yeah,
Helpful, I thought.
that's where they want us to go.